Hello knitters. Hello Gerald. I hope you're ready. I hope you figured out those DPNs and we're all ready to do the gusset for our super simple mitt pattern. This is a purchased pattern through Ravelry that was developed by my friend Louise from Wildflower Wool, and there will be a link to the pattern if you'd like to follow along with us. There will be a link to the pattern in the drop-down box below. It has been a while. This video is overdue. So hopefully, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for your patience. And let's get started. As you can see, I have finished the ribbing on my cuff. I have made this slightly shorter than the pattern calls for because when I was knitting it, I tried it on and I liked the length that it provided. So I stopped where I was and then I followed the pattern and I did the stockinette as directed. So what I have now, where I am now, I have done the first round of the thumb gusset. The only instructions that may be in that line that need clarification is the direction to PM, which stands for place marker. As you can see, I don't have proper stitch markers here with me. I call these stitch markers, but lots of people prefer not to use the ones that have the clip on them. These are known as progress keepers because they have the lobster claw. And so they're not ideal to be used as a stitch marker because of that join there may potentially, snag. However, this is all I have here with me and we are making do with what we have. So that's what I'm using as my stitch markers. So I placed my markers as the pattern directed and I knit to the end of the round. Round 2, we follow the directions, slip the markers as you come to them. And all that means is as you're knitting and you come to the marker, you simply slide the marker from this needle over to your working needle so that it retains its position. And that's all there is to it. The only other directions until the end that might be needing explanation is the SLM, which means slip the marker, KFB, which is a knit front back. We learned how to do the knit front back when we did our super simple dishcloth pattern. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to knit to my markers and I'll show you. So I'm going to knit to the marker. I'm going to slip the marker from one needle to the next, and then I'm going to do the knit front back. Put the needle in, wrap the yarn as if to knit, pull the needle through, but instead of taking that loop off the needle, you're going to take the needle around to the back, put it into the back of that leg of the stitch. So now you're knitting the back. You knit the front, you knit the back, and then finally that loop is ready to come off. And you have effectively increased one stitch. So that's your KFB, the knit front back. The remainder of the rounds for the thumb gusset are very self-explanatory as written. The next round that will need some explanation is round 10, where there is a backwards loop cast on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to catch myself up to the point where we need to do that step, and then I'll show you what we're going to do when we get there. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back and I am ready to go. I have just begun round 10. I have knit the first 3 stitches of that first needle. I removed the thumb stitches as directed, and it asks you to slip them onto a holder. Now there are special holders that look like giant safety pins that you can purchase. Again, I don't have one here with me, so I am making do with what I do have, which is yarn. I have lots of extra yarn. So I just clipped a small piece. I used a tapestry needle to thread my yarn through those thumb stitches. And then I simply tied my waste yarn into a little bow to keep them secure. I did not tie it into a knot because I want to be able to easily undo that when I'm ready to pick up those thumb stitches later on in the pattern and knit my thumb. So the next thing that we need to learn how to do is the E-wrap, which is also called the backwards loop cast on. We use this when we want to add we want to sneak in a few extra stitches into a row or at the end of a row and have them not really be visible in our work. So where my working yarn is coming from, I'm actually just going to flip that needle around so that I'm holding it in my left hand, and I'm going to take my right hand thumb and I'm going to loop my thumb. I'm going to tuck my thumb underneath that yarn and I'm going to bring it up so that it's wrapped around my thumb. Now you can see, if you look at the yarn in a particular way, it looks like the letter E, if you imagined it. There's the top part of the E, and there's the bottom part of the E there. So you can see the way that the loop is formed. So once again, take your thumb, tuck it underneath the yarn, loop it around the yarn, loop it around your thumb like that. Take your needle tip and tuck it under the yarn from top to bottom through. And then tighten, and now you have a new stitch. There's one, we need two, so tuck your thumb underneath, loop the yarn, needle tip from the left goes underneath, and we have our second E-wrap cast on stitch. Then we simply turn our work back around. We're going to ignore those 10 thumb stitches that are there, and we're going to take our right into the very next stitch that's on the needle and carry on. I usually give a nice tight tug to connect those up together. There we go. Knit to the end of that needle, but of course we haven't knit to the end of our round yet, but I just wanted to show you what it will look like. So there is what is going to become our thumb. That's it for me today. Happy Tuesday, happy knitting. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're enjoying learning how to make a mitten.